I love this show, but it seems many are colder on it. That isn't to say that this show is by any means flawless. I like most of the characters, including Layla and Harrow, and while some things aren't explained, which I would have wanted to know more about, I don't think it ruins it. The world building for the Egyptian lore is really fascinating, as are some of the gods introduced, who in this finale managed to steal the show at times. Khonshu shows how multifaceted and ultimately twisted he is, despite his on-the-surface honorable goals. Ammit being very cool, and how she ends up being more lax with her judgment than Harrow was, and Tawetet, who is just so cute. We need more of her. This finale did something the rest of the show should have focused on: the nuances of the story's themes. Ammit's talk with Harrow was interesting, because we finally get to see his emotional side, which I talk about in detail with my episode 5 review, which I'll put in the card above. His emotional, guilty side is how we should be connecting to his goal, not him being a purely stoic idealist. The way he accepts his fate to the scale was brilliant, and it's a shame that we don't get to see any of the other gods in this way. Speaking of, that ultimately was the weakest part for this story, aside from its length, were the other gods. My complaint isn't that them or their avatars are stupid. They are supposed to have these flaws, and it ultimately leads to their downfall. Even more than that, there were some holes the story opened up that they didn't do anything with, which did bother me a bit. Why were so many gods sealed away? Nobody seems to address it, because with that many sealed gods, it has to be for some big reason. Also, the one avatar says to Layla that they need more avatars than they currently have, but it only took 2 or maybe 3 if you count Harrow himself. Though I'm not sure how that could count, but I also think they were using the statues as replacements possibly. Either way, that plot point wasn't fleshed out that well. It doesn't ruin the story, but they probably should have made him say, you need 2 or 3 avatars present to seal her, which would have cleared it up. Then there was an issue that really confused me, and that was Mark and Steven making it back to life. How were they able to come back without releasing Jake, the third personality? Wouldn't he need to come back too? I guess not, because he is shown to be back as well, which did mess with the experience a bit. The fight scenes in this episode were a lot of fun, but I can see some people complaining that we didn't get to see potentially the biggest Jake fight so far. I would love an extended cut for these episodes, showing what Jake does when he takes over. Could be a fun way to switch up the narrative. Some people seem to take issue with how little is directly explained, but I actually like how the narrative is crafted here. For example, in episode 5, when we learn what happened to Mark's brother. Just before going into the cave, Steven finds a bird skeleton, possibly hinting to Khonshu causing it to happen, which has been a plot point in the comics. I also like how Mark's fractured mind is still not exactly solved. Jake creates a lot of new questions as to what Mark's past is really like, and it's even possible that there's more to come. Oscar Isaac was amazing all the way through, but I really did enjoy Layla and Harrow as well. Hopefully people come around, because seeing more of her and the Hippo Goddess would be nice. I think after watching the whole season, while I did like what was here, this series fails with the things it didn't do, or couldn't do. I wish Marvel would give these shows time, so we can see more happening without rushing the ending into one episode. And I wish we could learn more about the other gods, and Oscar Isaac better return soon to play Moon Knight, otherwise I'm gonna be very disappointed. I know he said he didn't want to be shackled, but maybe he will at least play the character a bit more than once. What did you all think? Does the ending work? Did the ending sell you on characters you previously didn't like? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope to see you next time.